Hello, and hope you're all having a nice holiday period. This is another video from Drazine160, and just sort of giving you a bit of an update now on my new layout, which is kind of not happening quite at the moment, but is certainly being planned. So I thought I'd give a bit of an update as to what's going on. Viewers of the channel may be aware that I was quite dramatically pulling apart my old layout, which you got some of the video here and some of the photos of how it was being destroyed. This was due to a house move, and luckily we have moved house now, and we have started to make the preparations in the back garden for me to get a bit of dedicated office space, or space, however you want to call it, in the back garden for the new layout, and starting to think about what it's going to be like. I have sort of looked at the pods, which are they're actually designed by a company called Hully Pods. The type I'm getting is a schooner pod, which is the biggest one that they do, and it's about sort of give or take about 4 meters in length, and it's about sort of 2.5 meters wide, give or take. And what I've started to do is sort of look at the dimensions of the pod, which is pretty good. It's got a good thermally insulated sort of interior, and then I've started to look at how I will use that space. So I kind of used Blender to sort of mock up what the interior might look like in a sort of a rough sketch of what it is. And so I've kind of put the walls up. Yes, they're going up straight, and I think they actually bend in a little bit, but for the sake of this, I think they'll be fine. And the pods themselves are made out of fiberglass on the exterior, which means that a lot of the sort of wooden cabins, they will degrade over perhaps 10 years. This apparently has a design life of about 20 years. So I'm hoping that it gives me a bit of longevity on the sort of use of the office space. I keep calling it an office. It could be anything, really. Some of the art shows, it could be all sorts of different things. And what I've decided to do is do a bit of a mock-up of this space that I've got, and showing off here, like what I'm sort of proposing is sort of the layout will be basically a giant U shape, and it's going to have a couple of different layers to it. There's going to also be some stuff that goes on top of the layout itself, which is where I'm going to have to store my 3D printers, and also a spray booth, because I really want to get more into airbrushing. I'm also planning to reuse the module of a Moutier, which of course has featured in the last sort of 2 layouts, and the reason I'm doing that is because, well, it's portable. It was designed for exactly this sort of purpose, and it's actually quite good. It's probably one of the better bits of modelling I've done, so I'm quite proud of it. So it's definitely going to be used. It's something I want to use and keep with it. It's 10 years old now, so who knows, it might still be going in sort of another 10 years time. We'll see. The sort of layout itself is sort of features a main line railway station at the centre of it, and the main line station is at sort of the dip of the U, and the mainline station, the mainline railway itself, goes around in sort of an oval shape, but then on one arm of the U, it sort of follows the arm all the way down, and in doing that, it means that it's got a slightly longer run. And it also means that it has some storage sidings, which are going to be sort of incorporated into the design. I'm not going to go into a great deal of detail about what this all looks like, because I've actually got some drawings which are going into a bit more detail. But you can see on the left-hand sort of side here, you can see the a Moutier, and there's going to be a bit more of a branch line rural side of things. And on the right, you're going to have a bit more of a sort of urban hinterland sidings on the right, with the 3D printers over the top, but that's going to be designed to be removable. So that gives you an idea of what the pod's going to be like. So let's talk to you a little bit more about the railway. So the original design of the railway was that it was going to have just an oval on the sort of main bit of the layout, which is the sort of the bottom of the U, and the idea was that the branch line would cover the sort of 2 arms that go out. But actually what I've decided to do is, and you can see the bit of paper that's kind of covering this bit, is to actually use the sort of one of the prongs of the U as a sort of extra bit of space for the mainline layout. Now you can see that it's going to be reasonably tight curve going in, but I have worked all this out. It should be okay. And you can see that the mainline layout has, so the mainline station has 2 platforms which have 2 faces on each, so there'll be 4 actual sort of platform faces that will be able to be used. The branch line station itself will lead off and go towards Moutier on a sort of parade route, going through some tunnels alongside a bit of a village scene. Sort of maybe a small hamlet as opposed to a village, but it's certainly going to be used. Hopefully you can hear my cat purring. He's very much enjoying the fact that I'm making this video. Then it goes to Moutier and it goes around at the sort of one of the top tips of the U, and it goes over a couple of viaducts which go over a river. And this is one of the sort of parade areas there, which I'm looking forward to getting done fairly swiftly. So the main sort of objective of once I've got the layout boards in place is to get the branch line running first, and then the main line, because the main line is going to be something where I probably need to spend a bit of time just getting right. And the intention is that hopefully it's all going to be able to be automated using the AnyRail. I think it's the AnyRail system that I've used before. This time going the whole hog and sort of making sure that it's able to be used. It's not AnyRail, it's iTrain. What am I talking about? I'm getting muddled up. It's Christmas Day. I'm making a video, so hopefully you can forgive that. Anyway, so the idea being is that then once we've got to the sort of, it goes down from just in front of Moutier. Not quite sure what happens in this section here, and in this section there's a potential I could put like a bit of a siding that goes in that links out from and sort of stays at the ground level. But you can see that the ground sort of the actual railway itself will be dropping in elevation at this point because it's got to go under the main line. And once it's gone under the main line, it will be going sort of curving round, and it will be going towards a sort of small sort of local station, which is a sort of commuter sort of station, part of the city. And it's there's going to be a sort of a cityscape here, which I'm hoping to sort of base on sort of a generic French city. And then it's going to sort of link round and go under the main line, and it's going to continue under the sort of underside of it for quite a while until it gets to the tip of the other U, and it's going to emerge and start raising up alongside what is the sort of the mainline fiddle yards. From the sort of main line on this bit, you can see the mainline tracks. They sort of come out from the sort of the major baseboard at the end of the U, and they protrude out one of the arms and on the back of the layout, and then they sort of just curve around. Now it looks a bit tight at this bit, but I have tested this in one of the bits of software to make sure that the Kato curves can achieve the sort of necessary clearance there, and they can, and then it will sort of curve inwards a bit, and there's an idea there that we'll just put some fill yards there, sort of storage space, so that we can actually have the trains that are going to be in operation on show, running that sort of from those sort of sidings, and it'll be quite a useful place to store all the trains. And with the idea of automating it, I'm hoping that it'll be a good sort of staging area to sort of bring trains in from sort of the sort of holding sidings there, and just sort of bring them into the mainline station. Mainline station itself is probably going to have a few large sidings itself, which will hopefully be quite useful for feeding the branch line as a sort of storage sidings there. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the sort of layout design at the moment. There's quite a few things that I'm going to be sort of working on, just sort of making clearer. Obviously, you know, these are sort of initial thoughts, and you've got an idea of what the cityscape might look like. But these sort of initial thoughts are usually quite useful to sort of understand what you really want from the sort of the feel of it. And so it's just a sort of an idea of gauging how I'm sort of wanting this to look, how I want the trains to run, what features I want, and how it might sort of work. And ultimately, yeah, it's just quite enjoyable planning this sort of thing. So let me know if you've got any comments, feedback, or whatever. You know, appreciate this is a long rambling video. Probably not the most interesting, but you never know. Some of you might find it interesting, and if you do, give it a like.